Go. Hello again, and welcome back to Gaming with Girlfriend. I am John.
I'm Callie.
And this is episode 3.
Wow.
Hooray. We've been doing this for a little while now, so that's pretty cool. Welcome back. Today on episode 3, we want to talk about how to be supportive when you are the native gamer and game recommendations for non-gamer partners. So on episode 2, we were talking about the frustration that non-gamers would feel early on in a relationship with a gamer, how they think and feel about their gamer partners. And so I sort of interviewed you about what frustrated you and what parts of it were easy and what parts of it were hard and what you liked and what you didn't like. And so this week, Callie will have an opportunity to sort of switch that around and interview me about our relationship as it relates to gaming from the other side of it.
Totally.
What have, before we jump into it, what have we played this week?
This week?
Yeah. What have we played together this week?
We've played my Catan dice game.
Yep.
And I feel like that's it.
I think so. Sometimes
we've played that much this week.
No, we haven't. But that's okay, because sometimes even something as small as the Catan dice game can be enough.
Yeah. I helped you brainstorm for a game that you want to develop.
Yep. Yeah, we've definitely talked about gaming plenty. I think I talked to you about some D&D related stuff. Maybe I didn't. No? Okay. Must have been my dad. And then we talked about the card game that I wanted to develop. And then we played a little bit of the Catan dice game. So if you are looking for something small, gaming, super easy to pick up and learn, that was like 2 minutes of rule reading, and we only had to double check like 2 or 3 things.
Yeah.
And there's only one thing that is left unclear. So if you are familiar with Catan, have played Catan, the board game, Catan, the dice game, is a nice little game. Throw it on the table at the end of dinner. You can keep track of who wins and loses.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try to hush now, at least until I get asked a question. And so we'll switch into sort of the interview format for it, and let the non-gamer have questions asked and answered by moi.
Yeah. All right. So without further ado, we'll just jump right in. What frustrated you about me not being a gamer when we first started dating?
Well, when we first started dating, I don't know that I was frustrated that you weren't.
So within the first 2 years of our relationship.
Right. Because at the very beginning, that doesn't super matter. But as we were spending more time together and, starting to live together, it became important. I really hesitate to say that it frustrated me, but it probably did, at least a little bit, where we didn't really have a lot of stuff that we could do together when we were stuck indoors.
Especially in the winter time.
Yeah,
there's 7 months of that here.
You don't really like to be outside and doing stuff. And if we're not outside and doing stuff, then we're inside and I'm probably playing a game. So it felt like we didn't have a lot to connect about and spend our downtime doing outside of watching TV. And once we were through with Game of Thrones, it was like, okay, what now? And we have shows that we watch together, but even then I'm still playing something on my phone. So I think it was just the lack of things that we could do together. And then a smaller part of that I don't know if is a result of you not being a gamer or is just a result of us not having spent that much time together at that point, was not being able to use game terminology to have some sort of shared communication between us. So
like what?
So remember when we moved into this apartment and I could say things to like Maddie or my dad, like, hey, move that, rotate 90 degrees this way, do this that way. And it was easier to like move things and pack things. And
I don't know if that's a product of gaming.
I think that is more just having spent time with those people. But I also think that you develop more teamwork and camaraderie like that playing games together than you do just existing together. Because I did that with my family a lot, like we've already talked about, to the point where that became part of just daily life. And I think that's, we definitely have daily life things that we do, but it's not to that degree. Not that matters necessarily. But it was easier, it has grown easier to communicate, I think, as a result of having a shared gaming habit.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you not think the communication has improved?
No, I think it has, but I think that's because we've talked about needing to communicate in better ways.
Right.
And I feel like I was not a great communicator up until like a year ago.
Okay. You don't feel like gaming has helped you with that at all? Like playing Sea of Thieves and needing to know like what's important to say to people when?
I mean, maybe it has some part of it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Games can teach life lessons.
It would be cool to look at that research-wise.
Yeah. I mean, so there is research that posits that video games help improve problem-solving ability. And this is totally my opinion, but I think that communication today is more about like social problem solving. Whether you want to view it like that or not, that's sort of my take on it, where, what can I say to this person and how do I say? There's a lot of, you have to be very careful in what you say
layers.
to who. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a little bit.
I think that part of like communication is problem solving. And I think that gaming helps people communicate better. I mean, I've seen that, but
yeah. You could also have people communicate poorly too.
Sometimes.
Like, I don't know, I look at my brother and how he plays games with people.
Right, but he's not winning more games because of how he's communicating.
Or if you like do turn on the mic to whatever and you hear all these other people.
Right, but if you're
talking.
not so like this comes up in Heroes of the Storm a lot, is people will just start shitting on somebody else's play, and they're not offering anything constructive. Right, so if you're just yelling at people in a video game like get good, they're not gonna get good and they're not gonna want to help you win. So at that point, the people who are doing that are just frustrated that they're losing a game and just want it to end.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be more of that happening. I don't think that happens very frequently.
It doesn't. Sometimes you'll get people.
So I don't know how gaming would help people communicate better if it's not.
So you have to have somebody take sort of a leadership role in that situation.
Right.
And I think in all of the times that I've attempted to do it, there have been 2 times in all of the Heroes of the Storm games that I've played, which I don't have off the top of my head. It's over 200 and less than 500.
Heroes games that you've played?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like it would be so
Maybe
much
it's less
more
than
than
1,000.
that.
I don't know. But in all of the games that I've played, right, at least over 200, at least less than 1,000. 2. I've had 2 games where I have tried to sort of like lead and coach and diffuse while I am playing, and it has worked out. Every other time, people will get frustrated that you're trying to tell them what to do, or they will turn it around and start trying to tell everybody else what to do, and then nobody knows who to listen to, and it's bad. And it's really hard to establish a leader or a shot caller in a PUG, a pickup game. So a PUG stands for pickup game. And it means that you are playing with like random people typically. So like if you have your raid team that you raid in Destiny with every other week, and it's 6 people who meet at the same time, you're all the same people, that's, you know, a team. And then if you do a pug, it's usually like LFG looking for group sites or tools to help you get together a pickup group. But if you're playing with a pug, people don't tend to be receptive to getting help.
All right, so I feel like we digressed quite a bit from that question, but
we did.
Opened up a new conversation.
Yeah. No, it was good.
Yeah. So why do you use gaming as a self-care tool? So that was something that we identified in, I think, the second episode as to how I kind of became okay with you. I don't know if that's the right phrasing there, but
yeah, more understanding.
More accepting of you and your gaming habits, because you told me that it's like what you use for self-care. So why is that such a good self-care tool for you? What does it do for you that other tools might not?
It's nostalgic, so it brings me back to a time when life was simpler, you know? That was like my getaway as a kid. So you just go play games and you feel better. And I've had this discussion before with people about whether gaming is healthy if you use it as an escape or just as a way to process, right? There's a difference between doing something to get away from your issues and doing something to help you work through them.
Right, like avoiding versus...
Right. That's why like substance abuse tends to get viewed so negatively, is because it detaches you. It's an avoidant. It doesn't help you solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I play a lot of the games that I do for the storylines. And so watching a narrative play out or being able to participate in the development of a narrative is a way for me to reflect on my life as though it were similar to, you know, metaphorically to whatever the game is, right?
It's kind of like reading a book.
It's kind of like reading a book, except it's more active, right? So there are, I'm sure...
You can make choices.
I'm sure that there are video games based off of books.
Totally.
I mean, like Harry Potter is the first thing that jumps to mind, but that's not a very good modern example. But yeah, it's more active, right? And it is more immersive. You could read a book or you could play Dungeons and Dragons, and you're going to feel more attached to your character and the decisions that they make and the way that that impacts you, the player, playing D&D, than you will reading a book. And so for me, it was, you know, I'm the hero on his journey, and these are my struggles, and this is how I've overcome those, and you know, help me get through things like that.
Okay. So if I never gamed with you, would that have been a deal breaker?
Never? Like, even like up to today, right? Over 4 years into the relationship, if you had never played a game with me?
I feel like that would just be impossible, but...
Yeah, so it might be a deal breaker. Yes, I think it would have been at some point, right?
We wouldn't be together for 4 years.
No, we probably wouldn't have.
No.
Yeah, not that it, like I said at the beginning, that's not necessarily what's important, but as you try to grow together with somebody, you have to have some shared areas of growth. And gaming is something that I, like, hopefully can base my life around at some point. So if you were like, I don't really want to hear about it, I don't really want to participate about it, good for you, but I don't care, then yeah, we would have had issues.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for not being like that. Thank you for being open-minded, you know.
You're welcome. Well, it's fun. Sometimes.
Well, so like the reverse question of that is, if I never hiked with you, would you still be with me? Like 4 years later, you wouldn't have gone on any hikes, right? Because you don't like to go alone, and there's only so many.
It's a 2020 goal for me.
There's only so many groups that, right? But 2020, so like 4 years, you wouldn't have hiked.
Definitely not. I mean, we've already had, some tension prior about like, spending too much time inside versus outside,
right?
And that type of thing.
I think we've tempered that though.
Yeah,
we've got a pretty good mix going now.
I agree.
But if I hadn't, right?
Yeah, no,
you
it would be.
Wouldn't have stayed.
It'd be weird.
Yeah, it's all give and take, compromise, balance.
What would we even do on the weekends if you didn't hike with me and I didn't play a game with you?
I would play games and you would hike, and we wouldn't see each other for 8 hours at a time.
Yeah, I guess.
It'd be lame.
So, you spend quite a bit of time playing what I think are stupid mobile games.
What you think?
Which I play some stupid mobile games too, but
Heyday.
I love Heyday, okay?
Yeah, I know.
I've been in a relationship with Heyday longer than I have been with you.
Okay. Alright, I get it. I see it now.
But yeah, I mean, I think everyone probably plays some version of a stupid mobile game. But anyway, like, what's the I feel like you spend so much time playing them. Like, if you were to look at your screen time average on your phone right now,
it's a lot.
It's probably like 8 hours.
I don't know. I think it's between like 6 and 7.
That's a lot. That's a lot to be on the phone staring at a screen while you're already watching another screen.
Well, so
what's the appeal here?
So that's something that I can do. I can tap that screen 3 times every, 2 minutes while I'm writing something, and feel like I am progressing towards something.
You don't feel like you're progressing when you write?
No, I don't.
That's unfortunate.
It's not, because it doesn't have anything to do with me, right? So like I can write something and put it out there, but if nobody reads it, then whatever, right? It's not.
You just want to be seen.
Well, the focus of who drives the success of that action is not on me. I have written stuff. It's up on the blog, right? Mm-hmm. Anybody anywhere can go and read that. People choose not to, right? Or don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So unless I decide to try to promote that everywhere, which lots of places don't allow lots of self-promotion, and the other side of that coin is paying for like Facebook ads for a personal blog, which is stupid. And I get new followers and new readers through WordPress. So it's not like there's no progress being had there. But the only thing that I can do is keep writing. And every time I write, it's, a drop in the bucket, as it were. But I can, I have the energy to spend in those games, and I can have that be going for a while. And those, like lots of other games, are more or less pay to win. It's whoever spends the most time playing it will have the highest, statistical chance to have the better items or runes or whatever.
Yeah, Heyday is the same way.
Right. It's you either spend a ton of time.
You have to have all these diamonds, and to get diamonds, you have to buy them, basically, with real money.
Right, or play the game a ton to do all of the things you can do to have a small chance at getting one.
Right, statistically, there's not many chances to get them. Like, there are boxes that pop up every, I don't know how many hours, let's say like 6.
Right, so you sign in every 6 hours.
Right, and to maybe get a diamond, because you don't always get it.
Right, it's all RNG, random number generation.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't have the money to spend. I don't want to spend money on those games, but I can play it in the background a little bit or a lot, but it feels like very little effort or my time gets sucked into that because I'm doing something else typically. while I'm farming.
Okay.
And if I manage to do well in that, I will know that it was a result of something that I did. Right? Like it feels like I have more power to control how successful I am at that.
You put in days and days and days of gameplay to be on a leadership board.
Yeah, I guess so. It feels really fucking cool. Really cool. It feels really cool.
All right. I don't see the appeal to that.
Have you ever held a record? So the first time I felt this, right? I can trace this back to elementary school.
Oh my gosh.
The first time that I felt this, sit-ups, right?
Sit-ups.
So I used to be fit, believe it or not.
You're not fit. You're just not strong right now.
Yeah, and my cardiovascular health isn't great, but that's for a different show. In 6th grade, I had been trying to do it for 2 years. Well, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So a total cumulative 3 years that I was trying to break the record at my elementary school for sit-ups in a minute. And the record was 61 or 62 by a kid that was 3 or 4 grades ahead of me, graduated long before me. And so there was a girl in my class who was also trying. I don't know if she was trying as hard as I was to break the record, but she tried really hard at everything. And the last year that we could do it, I got 71 sit-ups in a minute. And it was a new school record, and it was fantastic. 71. And she got like 68, so she would have broken it too if I hadn't. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
So she probably holds the record for female, and you do for male.
Probably. I don't think they did. But anyway, being that like I am the best, right? Out of the 70 people in my elementary school class, I was the one who could absolutely do the most sit-ups in a minute, and it was very, very cool. So being like so at one point in Destiny 1, I was in the top 10% of players overall, according to Destiny Tracker. In Halo, one of the first seasons that I played ranked SWAT, I ranked Onyx, which is the like Masters League. Yeah, right. So that's I don't know what percentage of people are in Onyx, probably 10 or less percent. In the season that I competed the most for Diablo 3 when I was playing that, I was in the top 500 Crusaders. So if I don't know, like it feels really good to know that out of millions of people that do something, you're in the top 1,000 people who do it, or 500 people who do it. You know, and that's I don't know. Winning is more addictive than anything else that I can think of. So
yeah, you don't really play games that you know you're gonna lose or have a higher chance of losing.
If I know that I can't win something, then no, I'm probably not gonna play it. That's a waste of time.
I feel like a lot of the time that I play games, though, I never know if I'm gonna win, and I still do it.
Well, right, because you don't have the game sense to know, right?
I don't know.
Or if we play a board game, right? If we play one of my dad's new board games, I don't know how it works, so I don't know who is gonna have a higher chance of winning. And that is probably how you feel with new games, right? You don't know enough about it to be able to judge.
Is it always fun for you to win, though? Or is there ever a point where you're like, I don't know, like you crave something more, or it's not as exciting to win?
Well, so if you're winning every time, you're not getting any better, right?
Yeah.
You're not learning anything new. You might be able to learn something new from it, but you're not going to improve. And so this was when I stopped playing. This was when my friends and I all stopped playing Halo, and I was playing more with my siblings and like a gaming group that I did for work forever ago. And when I played with those two groups, I knew I was getting worse, like objectively.
Why? Because they were worse?
Yeah, so you sort of you rise or fall to the occasion of where you're at. That's why games try to matchmake you. It's also for fairness, but if you are consistently playing against people who are worse than you, you will get worse, I believe.
Ooh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Because I play, I can play Borderlands with you and then go play ranked Halo and still be improving. So I wouldn't want to win all the time. I have a friend who does that. He plays against AI opponents in most of the games he plays, and he doesn't like player versus player games or content.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You probably do. And like, that's fine. You should play the games that you want to play, but if you are always winning without any degree of challenge, I think that's where the appeal of games start to break down for me a little bit. Gaming is something that, like, you can always be better at, and I try to be, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. Kind of soapboxed there a little bit, but...
Well, so next question.
Okay.
Kind of along some of the same lines, I guess, with that is, like, why do you play games for an extended period of time? Like, it could be hours long that you're playing a game, and it's frustrating for you because of other people sucking, you not being able to figure it out, or...
Well, I usually try not to play something that is frustrating for that long. I might be playing something for that long, get frustrated, and keep playing for a little while longer because I want it to not be frustrating.
So, like, last weekend, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the other room and doing my thing, and I hear you yelling at the TV.
I wasn't yelling.
You were yelling.
I might have been yelling a little bit. Yeah.
You raised your voice.
Sure.
At the TV.
I raised my voice at the TV.
Which the poor TV has no control over.
I know. I'm sorry, TV. I'm sorry.
But yeah, and it was like an hour. I feel like you weren't consistently yelling for that long, but like every 5 minutes
and pieces,
or so,
yeah.
you'd like yell at the TV.
It's probably like 20 to 40 minutes.
And it's like, why? I don't understand why. And I feel like so many people do that. Like, my brother does it all the time too.
Yeah. So part of it's, the primal reaction of like, this is frustrating, and you want to yell at somebody or something.
But why continue to do it, I guess?
Well, so it depends, right? If I'm thinking of the instance that you are talking about, I was playing Halo 5, which has been out for years. There's not a lot of new people who are coming to play that. Everyone who wants to play it probably has played it already. And so there's a mode where you are working together with a group of people, and you're taking down enemies or defending locations, that sort of thing. And at this point in the game's history, given the player base that is playing it, there are a few like pretty well established things that you do. And this happens in Heroes a lot, but Heroes also gets a lot of new people who are trying the game, or people who come back to the game every couple of months. The hero Deathwing came out recently, and so people are coming back to play him. And so there are established things that you do in a game type that you are playing with other people. And when people don't recognize those things or don't execute on those things, it is frustrating. And so that's why you play with a group of people that you know, why you play with like your team, your squad, what have you, because you know that they will know how to do. You could say lemon bar, and everybody knows what to do when you say that, right? I don't know. That's a terrible example, but it is. I understand that is hard for pugs, for random players to sort of know, especially if any of them are new. The question was, why do I play the games that frustrate me?
Why do you continue to play it after something is frustrating? Like, I don't know.
So if I'm the cause,
heroes sometimes where you like get like 3 bad teams in a row.
Oh yeah, okay. So if
and it doesn't seem like you're having much fun.
There are 3 categories of frustration that I would put in here. One is caused by me not being able to do something or execute something within the game. The last time that I was feeling a lot of that was playing like Dauntless and Monster Hunter, where a lot of it comes down to like personal ability and just learning the timings and the muscle memory for things. And that's something as easy as either like take a break or focus and do what you're trying to do. For Honor, it's a good example where I have gone into the training mode with a couple of heroes and really struggled to execute one of the combos. And so you just have to like sit there and do it until you can do it. Mm-hmm. If it is frustration caused by the game, either a mechanic does not appear to be working as intended, or the matchmaking system is screwing you. If it is something like a mechanic is not working the way as intended, you can try to find a workaround or a different solution to the puzzle at hand. If it's something like matchmaking, which is half the game and half people, if other people are causing it, then I usually just have to get through the game that I'm playing and then try another one. If I get bad teammates several games in a row, I mean, if every game you play there's a problem, you are probably that problem. So if it gets to be really bad like that, I will take a moment and try to self-reflect and see if it is something that I'm doing. In a game like Heroes of the Storm, it's a 5-on-5 team game, so one person can't really carry. There's not a lot of carry potential, which means one person can do really, really well and everyone else can do kind of bad and you can still win. That's carrying.
Yeah.
So you can't really carry in Heroes, and there is a long-standing debate about whether or not, if 4 other people on your team are doing something stupid, if you should do that with them so that you're as a team or not. And I will try to do stuff like that because I know that people would rather lose together than lose separated. But there are times where you are down 3 levels, 4 levels, had 5 levels, and the team wants you to group up. And like objectively, mathematically, you cannot all be in the same lane and still be getting enough experience to catch up ever if you're grouped up like that. So sometimes it's just a really, really, really bad call. And other times it is a mathematical impossibility. I mean, the best solution to that is taking a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think there's something to be said about pushing through things that frustrate you as well.
Right,
so
right.
You shouldn't give up every time something annoys you, because then you'll never accomplish anything.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you manage tilt?
Okay, so a game has frustrated me being tilted. I've described to you as being, frustrated or put off kilter by something happening in a game.
Right, you get like escalated, I would say.
Yeah, that's your clinical terminology.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, some people like throw a controller at the wall, or like, I don't know, like that's pretty aggressive and extreme. I can
happily say that I've never thrown a controller.
That's awesome, because a lot of people do.
I've tossed one, right? So I think throwing is like overhand. I've definitely been sort of frustrated and done one of these where I'll just like toss a controller down. But I've never thrown a controller. First of all, because it's just gonna put me out $60.
Right, but I feel like when you're letting the anger or rage like take over. You're not making rational decisions. You're not thinking about the future.
So that's something that I have trained myself to do through a lifetime of playing games and a childhood of being like that a little bit.
Being like what?
Being like super frustrated when I am losing things, or when I get tilted, right? I didn't know
Did
to
you
call
get
it that.
tilted a lot as a kid?
Not a lot, only when I lost.
So
I used to be a really poor loser.
Yeah.
And I am better about it now because I have learned and created a way. I don't know that I can explain it all that well, but if I'm mad and I'm playing a game, I know objectively, factually, a truth of the universe that I will not play better by being angry. So I need to convert that anger into focus. And that's, I don't know that I can really explain that any more than that. It's something that I learned playing Halo with my friends, where if I started to lose, I'd get pissed off. And then if I could not be pissed off and keep trying, I would win and it would be okay. So I've learned to tell my brain to do that relatively quickly.
All right. Do you have advice for people that tilt easily?
Right. The other side of that is that if it's not something that you can control, and it's not something that is you being angry, right? So is it the matchmaking? Is it the other people in the game? Oftentimes you can't help people who are tilted. So out of the Heroes games that I've played, maybe two games have been successful. Hey, the advice that I have tried to give you actually brought the team together, and they were listening to calls and following directions, and it was like butter. Butter is smooth. It's really, really great when people decide to work together. When they don't, and somebody gets tilted who's not you, you can't manage that. You can't manage somebody else's tilt, because there are times where they'll get tilted because somebody is already trying to help tell them how to play, or give them a suggestion or a tip or a critique. And for whatever reason, a majority of people maybe, don't want to learn anything new ever. And so it becomes really hard to try to educate them on a game mechanic. Like, hey, if you pick up that globe there, everybody nearby gets 10% of their health back. Like, that's a big deal. You should just take the 2 steps over to get it. Well, no, F you, I'm not going to do that. I don't care what my health was full. And it's like, well, okay, fine then. Like, if you are not contributing to the team winning, you are actively contributing to the team losing. And you are asking your team to lose the game for you. And there's nothing you can do to help people like that.
When they're in that place, like in that mindset, yeah. That goes for anybody, though. That's like... Maybe.
It shouldn't be. You should always be open.
No, but I mean, I work with kids, and when they are escalated or, in like that fit of rage, rationalizing with them you can't do it.
So that's what you have, right? So people have to learn how to do that for themselves.
That part of, like, I don't know what part of your brain does that, but it's like not firing, or it shuts down and becomes...
Well, so
the amygdala takes over.
So that's what I mean when I say I can flip anger at a game into focus. And I wish that I wish I knew what happened in my head at the time, in my early teen years, when I learned how to do that. Because if I could write the book on how to do that, then, people everywhere would... You have to acknowledge that there is rationality. And I guess kids probably struggle with that, but I was a kid when I was teaching myself this, so you just...
Right, they have to want that, though. Like,
you don't have to want it, though. You just have to do it.
I think an outside party telling you what to do when you're in that state is not helpful. Like, that is something internal that needs to happen of like, okay, I don't like how I'm behaving right now, or this isn't helping the situation. Turn it off, I guess.
Yeah. Or change it, because you're not going to turn your brain off, but you have to be able to flip a switch and to be able to funnel that energy into something different.
You also only feel anger for, oh man, it's like 90 seconds maybe, but it might maybe less.
Okay.
There's like some meditation that we did on it. You only feel it, and then the rest is reaction. So it's like whether or not you want to continue down that path or move on.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say want to, or so much as have the insight to know that you shouldn't.
Right.
So we're getting close to time here. Do you have any other quick ones you want to rattle off?
Yeah. So what is your favorite video game that we've played together? And what is your favorite board game we've played together? Card game.
So my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I would be a fool to not say playing that with you has been pretty great. Diablo holds a sort of a special place because that was the first game that we played together from start to finish all the way through. And favorite board game might have been Mysterium was a good one. That was really fun. That was at the beginning of our relationship. And Death Angel, maybe, because that one's impossibly difficult, and to ask someone to do something impossibly difficult with you is what I feel like asking you to date me was. So it's a good little thing to bring us together, I guess. Nothing like facing impossible odds to bring people together, though, right?
Yeah, I guess.
What about you, real quick? What were your favorite video game, favorite board game, or computer game?
Favorite video game has to be Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Or Sea of Thieves.
Really?
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. We've spent so much time playing that, and we have had some good moments playing it.
Definitely.
Favorite board game: Catan, Mysterium, Heartland.
The Heartland Hauling Company.
Yeah, maybe I like that playing that with your dad better, but.
Well, I know what to get you for Christmas next year.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Alrighty.
Last question. How do you go from playing games with your friends to playing games with me, knowing that I am not an experienced gamer and they are?
I have different goals when I'm playing with you versus when I'm playing with them. So, like, if we played Destiny, for example, we would play a lot of casual PvP when we started doing that. Like, I wouldn't play something ranked or competitive with you yet. If you got really good at heroes, we could play as a duo, and that would be really cool.
I have zero desire to get good at heroes.
For now. But even sometimes when I'm playing with my friends, it just depends on what you're doing when you establish playing, right? So if I'm playing with my friend who just plays against AI opponents, then I'm not there to grow or get better at the game. I'm there to sort of fool around and have fun with a friend. A lot of the time when I'm playing games with you, I try to take on a teaching mindset so that I can, or a coaching mindset maybe.
Which can be so annoying sometimes.
Well, I get that, right? Sometimes you're trying to just play the game.
It's helpful. I, as a person, struggle receiving criticism, which is probably why so many people that you try to help in games get tilted or whatever.
Defensively aggressive.
People don't accept criticism.
They don't want to hear it.
Well.
They don't.
They want to just be perfect. And I feel like I'm perfect, but of course I'm not. I want to be.
Well, you have to spend more time playing games. I play Rainbow Six Siege with my friends sometimes, but we always play casual because I won't play ranked with them because I don't think that I'm ready for that.
Do they think they're ready? Have they asked you to?
I don't know that they think they're ready. I think that they just want to play ranked so that there are picks and bans and it matters more. But I know that was not something, and I mentioned that earlier. I started playing ranked too early in games that I wasn't prepared for it, and it ruins your matchmaking rating on games that don't do a full reset every season.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, right. So like if you play ranked heroes, I described this, right? It seeds you whatever you get, right? Say that you are gold 3, right in the middle between platinum and silver, and then you lose your placement games, all of them, it'll put you like down in silver. But if you lose all of your placement games, you should start gold bottom or bronze bottom 0. Like it I don't like games that, and this is unrelated, but I don't like games that don't do matchmaking resets. So like Halo does that. It will reset your matchmaking status. So you play 10 games, of whatever your game type is at the start of a season, and then it seeds you from there. And it's a little bit, and I don't know why matchmaking systems are so hard for game designers. It's easier to move up and down in Halo, so you move more throughout the season, but it helps you find out where you're supposed to be. I feel like one of the issues with Heroes matchmaking is that I have to win 5 games in a row to rank up, and the chances of that happening are very low when you have people on your team who are actively working against you because they don't understand team dynamics. It just depends on what the purpose of playing the games are. It doesn't matter that you're not as good. I'm just happy that you're playing games with me.
Yeah, I feel like there's been maybe like 2 occasions where you've like been frustrated with me during a game.
I mean, it happened a lot in the beginning, but like
for the most part, you're pretty good.
The last couple of times that we played Sea of Thieves, you had some moments that were like save the day moments. So
yeah, pretty much the best.
you're getting there, that's for sure. So we should wrap up. I wanted to talk about at the end of this episode games that I was recommending and games that we played. We talked about that a lot in episode 1, so I'm just going to sort of rattle those off. But Skyrim was one of the earliest games that I got you to play. That was a good game for you because you liked it. You had watched me play it for a while, and that was a game that was not co-op. So I could sit over here and talk to you if you wanted to, but there were definitely times where you were like, hush, let me figure it out. And that was something that there wasn't any external pressure for you to figure out what to do and how to be good at that, which is the best way to learn. Sea of Thieves was a great game to play with people, but be ready for frustration.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, when we first played it, it wasn't great, but it's better now.
Right. Well, so it was really tense because there's stuff that you have to do on the spot in the moment, and it has to happen or you will sink or die or whatever. And without any experience playing the game, that happened. The first session that we were playing was like, hey, I need you to do this, and you didn't know where to go or what to do. So really good game, but ease into it. Diablo is really good because it's really easy to feel good at Diablo, and sometimes you need a little self-esteem boost, where Diablo is really good at giving you that. Also super fun couch co-op. It's on every system. Very good game in general. And then Borderlands was, you liked the humor of that, and I was able to successfully pitch that to you in that dying and stuff doesn't matter. It's a fun sort of blast 'em up, shoot 'em up game, but I wanted you to play some first-person shooter, so
yeah,
that was a good one for that. And then the other game that I wanted to mention today was Overcooked. That one is rampant and crazy, but also fun and great at building communication. So.
It's like Diner Dash, kind of.
Sure.
I loved Diner Dash.
So that was that really quick. If you want to hear anything more about any of the games that we have played or the games that we plan to play, please tweet at us. I am at jmscota5.
I'm at Callie_Flanders.
You can also like, subscribe, follow, whatever you do the show if you are watching on YouTube, or if you are subscribing on podcasts.
5-star rating and review.
Optional. Only do that if you feel like it. So we're gonna be playing some more. Are you playing more Skyrim next week?
I don't know if we've figured that out yet.
So there may or may not be more Skyrim next week. There might be a new game, but tune in for the live stream of that probably a week from today. We've been doing that a lot on Sundays, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to support us at all, head on over to patreon.com/Skoda. Otherwise, that is going to do it for Gaming with Girlfriend this week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
Bye.